What up, Logos American History classes? Welcome to day 4, almost to the end of our first week of e-learning. Congratulations to those of you who've been keeping up, coming back every day this week. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Been happy to see all the hard work you guys been doing. What's going on today? Well, today's an historic day as far as legislation goes. Later today, might have already happened depending on when you're watching this video, but the Congress will formally pass a piece of legislation, and then the President will sign it, which will authorize over $2 trillion to be spent to help the economy and help with what's going on in response to all the bad news that's been happening. And it has been a lot of bad news, so I don't blame you if you haven't been paying attention. I don't blame you if you don't want to watch the news, because it's bad. If you're wondering why we're doing this, why we're all alone together, all you gotta do is look at the news coming out of New York City, because it's getting really ugly there, and it's gonna get worse. So this is a bit of good news amidst all this bad news. This good news today is that people who are struggling financially are going to get some relief. All of us, really. From the major corporations, the major industries are going to get hundreds of billions of dollars to keep them from going out of business, to small businesses around the country, a lot of restaurants who had to close and lay off all their workers. They're going to be getting money to pay their workers who aren't working right now. And then you have, for people who won't be getting paid by their workers who've lost their jobs, an expansion of unemployment insurance, which is huge, right? People who are unemployed can apply and get payments from the government while they're unemployed. And then, on top of all that, for everyone who makes below a certain amount of money, so people like me and probably your family and most people who make a normal living will be getting direct payments within the next couple of weeks. Either a check's going to be sent to you or the money's going to be put right into your bank account, and it's not an insignificant amount of money. You guys, all of you who are under 18 out there, your parents or guardians will be getting $500 for you. And every adult who's over 18, again, who has, makes below a certain amount, will be getting up to $1,200 per adult. So, for my family, I got 3 kids. So that's going to be my wife, me, my 3 kids are going to be getting, a few $1,000s, which will definitely help. And your family will too. This is for all Americans. So that's the good news. Now, on to the news of the day for us, what we're going to be working on over the next couple of days. Amidst all this, negative news that's going on in our world, we are going to begin studying, we have to study when we study World War II, the Holocaust. Yeah, I know. That's the bad news, right? But we should study the Holocaust, I think, right? Maybe you disagree, but you can't have a history class without studying the Holocaust. You can't study World War II without talking about the Holocaust. And so everyone's heard of the Holocaust, but we want to hopefully learn a little bit more. And so there is a reading on the Holocaust. And remember, the readings are always under topics. We go from our bulletin board to the topics tab. And you guys have done a good job of finding these topics. Remember, we're on World War II. You click on World War II, and the most recent reading is section 18, or chapter 18, section 3. When I click on that, see what it opens up. Yep, there it is, the Holocaust. A lot of key terms. Not a lot of pages in this reading. It's a shorter section. But I want you to, take the time to read it, and there are some questions to answer in there. You don't need to do all that today. If you've been keeping up with the readings and answering all the questions, that's great. If you haven't, you need to get caught up with the first 2 sections today. Please do that. one thing that I've noticed, again, how do you do the assignments? If we go back into our assignments tab, right? This is where all the assignments are, and there is a set of questions for section 3 up there. But again, if you haven't done sections 1 or 2, that's okay. Go ahead and try and get caught up on that today. If you have done it and you want to work ahead and get started on section 3 today, go ahead too. But one thing that I noticed, a lot of students, this has happened to you, it's not just you, it's happened to a lot of students, have been getting locked out, right? If you go into these assignments, let's see, this one, which some of you I saw did a really good job on yesterday. Some of you I saw have started this, and then you left without finishing, and you may have gotten locked out. Now, I don't know why it does that. It shouldn't do that. I think I fixed the problem, but if you did get locked out and you got discouraged and said, forget it, I'm not going to do this assignment, I fixed it. You should be able to get back in there and finish it, so please do that, because I've seen a lot of people started these assignments but haven't finished them and submitted them, so I can't grade them, can't give you credit for it until you finish it and submit it. But you can't finish and submit it if you're locked out. So you shouldn't be locked out anymore. Go ahead and try to get back into those assignments, and hopefully that shouldn't happen again. But in the future, if you do need to finish it, to try and prevent that from happening again. And again, if it does, just let me know. I can get you back in there. No problem. But you can always click the save for later, right? If you're not going to finish it right away and you want to click save for later, that should keep you from getting locked out. If you just close it out without clicking save for later and you haven't submitted your answers, it just locks you out, which I don't understand why it does that. Or it was doing that. Hopefully it won't do that anymore. Hopefully I fixed it. Let me know if it continues to be a problem. But everyone should be open and able to get into those first 2 lessons if you haven't already finished and submitted those. And then we do have lesson 3 up there, which again deals with the Holocaust. But what about the discussion question of the day? I want to look at the discussion question of the day because that's really what's important, for me to see you guys all do today. I want to go on a field trip. Right? Let's go on a field trip. Why not? Wait a minute. We can't go on a field trip. We're all in isolation. How about a virtual field trip? You guys know that there is a Holocaust museum here in St. Louis, right? And it's funny, right before the break, Johnny White and I were talking about taking a field trip to the Holocaust Museum. And then all this happened. Well, you know what? We can take a virtual field trip to the Holocaust Museum. There is actually a virtual field trip, virtual tour online of the Holocaust Museum right here in St. Louis. And so that's the discussion question of the day, right? Here's the discussion question of the day. When you go into assignments and you see question of the day, what did you see on the virtual tour of the Holocaust Museum? And then there's a link. Click on that link. It'll take you to the virtual tour of the Holocaust Museum. Do the virtual tour. Let me know something that you saw. Again, anything, right? But then the second part of this question is, why should or shouldn't we study or remember the Holocaust, right? Again, this gets to a point we'll be talking some more about tomorrow, but there's some people who say, that's in the past, right? It's too negative. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to learn about that. I don't want to know about that. I think that's the worst thing we can do is just ignore the bad parts of history. We have to remember them so that they don't happen again, right? And so that we can prevent them from happening again. So click on this link. When you click on this link, it'll take you to this page, right, of the virtual tour. And it's pretty cool, actually. We can go to a full screen, and it's a Google Earth tour, but, they take us all the way through every exhibit in the museum. You can look up close. You can look around. Propaganda. So I encourage you to take a look around at all the cool exhibits and pictures. It's depressing, I'm not going to lie. It's not a fun topic, but it's interesting, and this is pretty cool, I think, that we can see the museum without actually leaving our house, right? I'm not sure where. I've been here, but it's been a while. So I'm interested to see what we can find. There's a learning center. That's pretty cool. So yeah, check it out. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you later. Peace.